Hello, I just wanted to do a very quick screencast on the IRB process. So we're going to start out in this area. This is the content area, of course, of the leadership module. So the IRB form itself, what I need you to do, I have located in this area the form that you will actually fill out as an e-form through the McKendree IRB process. So what I have here is the form itself, so you're going to complete the form before you submit it in the e-form to IRB. So I'm going to review it before you submit. So that's a real important factor. What you want to do is fill out the form in its entirety. There's some basic information about your study, the title, those types of things. And there are some key things that I really want to emphasize with you as you're completing the form and completing the IRB process. So I've outlined those key elements in this area of Blackboard, and I just want to touch base with you about those. Number one, you will need to have either a letter or IRB approval from your organization first. That's step number one, so you need to secure that. And you will submit that with your IRB document that you have completed with this document. So not only is it this document that you will complete, you will also have attachments to the document. And I have included what the attachments should be, and there may be some attachments beyond what I have listed here that will be necessary for your project, dependent on your project. So you want to make sure that you're including any survey that you have included with that you're going to use in your project, or any type of tool specifically that you're going to use for measurement for your project. You will include it here. If it was necessary to get permission to use that tool, which likely it was, or if there was permission necessary for the survey, and again, likely that's true, include that permission, that you have secured the permission to use that in your particular project or study. So you will also include your consent form, and the consent form information is down here. And as we're touching on the consent, there is just a template that's listed in here that usually covers absolutely everything that you need to cover in the informed consent. If you need to make sure that your participants are anonymous, there's some things that we can tweak in the consent itself where you won't require a signature per se in your introductory email, and on the consent you will put language in, and I will help you do this because we need to be very specific. There needs to be language that indicates that by completing the survey they are indicating their permission to participate, or that they've received informed consent and that they're going to participate in the project or in the study. So there's ways to bypass that, and especially if you have supervisory responsibilities over those who are part of the study or the project, it's real important to, if at all possible, keep those participants anonymous, and this is one way to do so. So we will work on that if that needs to be a portion of or how you're going to do the informed consent. So we'll talk through that. As we're moving on, if you're using any kind of introductory email, or if you're using recruiting communications, you want to include that too. You want to include the language, how you're telling folks about your project or your study. And you'll again need that letter of permission or IRB approval from your organization. You will need a debrief statement as well. So you'll need to let the participants know how they can get in touch with you, in touch with IRB, in touch with me, or how they can secure the results of the study itself. So this needs to be something that they can actually print off, or something that you hand to them that they can keep so that they can use it for future reference, how to make those contacts or how to get information about the completed project or the completed results. So keep that in mind as well, and there may be other requirements. And just always remember, as you're completing the IRB application process, the purpose of IRB is to secure the safety of the participants. So keep that in mind and keep that as your frame of thought as you're writing how you're protecting those who you are asking to, are inviting to be a part of your study. And just keep in mind that you need to indicate that participation is voluntary. That's really important. And if there's any protected or vulnerable populations that you're using, we need to be very careful about how we're wording things and how we're protecting them. And just like you've completed your city training, those are the types of things that we need to consider when we're completing the IRB process. So I've included just some general tips here. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. This is a process that we'll work on together, and it takes a little bit of time and preparation. If my goal is that we'll be very proactive and complete the IRB application with all the necessary parts so that you'll just sail through the IRB process. So let me know if you need anything. Talk to you soon. Take care now.